In today's video, I'm going to be doing my unboxing and first impressions of the brand new Motorola Razr 2025 edition. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. I finally picked up the Razr 2025 edition. This is a phone that you guys have been asking me to check out for a while now, and I'm glad I did. So this retails for $699. I just picked it up from Best Buy. Again, it's available at Best Buy, Amazon, and a few other places out there. In this device, we have the Dimensity 7400X for the processor. We have 8 gigabytes of RAM. We have 256 gigabytes of internal storage. We have a 4500 milliamp battery, 30 watt charging, 15 watt wireless charging. This is eSIM compatible as well. We cannot expand the storage on this, which kind of sucks. And we have a long 1080 by 2640p display on this. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this device. All right, let's go ahead and pull this off the top. And of course, we have some more goodies inside of here we'll take a look at. We have the phone right here. It says, do not remove the pre-installed screen protector as it will damage the display. Inside this box, we have our legal, safety, and regulatory information. We have our quick start guide for the Motorola Razr. Of course, we have our USB Type-C to Type-C data cable. And last but not least, our SIM ejector tool. And of course, we finally have the phone right here. First and foremost, this phone feels super heavy for whatever reason. So it's a super heavy phone, and this is going to come in Pantone Gibraltar. This is how this phone is going to look. I love this texture right here. Wow. And as you guys know, this is a foldable phone. Definitely going to take a look at more foldable phones on this channel, but I love how this phone is looking so far. This color looks beautiful. Absolutely love this texture right here as well. In hand, this feels super premium, so excited to get into this. So first and foremost, of course, we have the power button right here. Just above that, we have the volume up and down rocker. Just above that, we have our noise canceling mic. Top of the phone, we have a couple more noise canceling mics. Left side of the phone, we have our SIM tray right there. And again, this is capable of using eSIM as well. And the bottom of the phone, we have a couple noise canceling mics, and we have a USB Type-C port, and of course a speaker down here as well. But let's go ahead and boot this phone up and see how it looks. We're gonna have to set this up right now as well, as I have not set this up yet. As you guys can see, we have that huge screen on the back right there with our camera modules right there. We have a dual camera setup, and it's pretty cool because we can actually use this camera as a selfie camera as well, because we have the display on the back of the phone. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that in a second. Again, no headphone jack, very obvious. This is gonna have stereo speakers. For that dual camera setup right here, our main camera is going to be a 50 megapixel wide angle camera, and our secondary is going to be a 13 megapixel ultra wide. This is compatible with 4K at 30 frames per second and 1080p up to 120 frames per second. And as far as our front facing camera right there, we have a hole punch camera. That's going to be a 32 megapixel wide angle camera capable of HDR, and we get to go up to 4K at 30 frames per second with this as well. But I'm going to go ahead and set this up, and I'll be back in a second. All right, everyone, so we have a lot to talk about. We are finally in the phone. First and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the biometrics on this. We have a side-mounted fingerprint sensor right here, so let's go ahead and try that out. It seems to be pretty quick, as you guys can see. Very quick, very accurate. But we have a big, beautiful LTPO display right here. This is going to be an AMOLED display. This is going to be a 120 hertz refresh rate, HDR10 plus, and of course we have a very nice peak nit brightness on here of 3000 nits. Crazy stuff right here. The screen to body ratio is going to be about 85%, which is not too bad, especially considering we have a big speaker up there that I'm sure is going to sound excellent. But as you guys can see, going through the UI, it looks very smooth, very nice. 120 hertz refresh rate. The colors look great on this display as well, so Motorola did an excellent job with this display. And of course, we'll take a look at the outside display in a second. We also have our Wi-Fi right here. We have Bluetooth, auto rotate. We have Smart Connect on here as well, which is great to see. We have our wallet. We have Moto Unplugged, Quick Share. We have our hotspot right there. We have a native screenshot and screen recorder in here. We have our GIF maker, battery saver, we have our cast mode, NFC, all that type of stuff inside of here. And as far as the update policies on this device, it looks like we're going to be getting 3 years of major operating system updates, and we came out of the box with Android 15, so we're going to be able to go up to Android 18, which is nice because many other Motorola devices around this price tag only get 2 years of OS updates, and we're also going to have 4 years of bi-monthly security patches on this device as well. So a solid update policy from Motorola right here. And of course, closing this up real quick, we have our second display, what everybody is talking about. So just go ahead and put in your PIN. Once you put in your PIN, you open this up and we have our second display right here. Now when we swipe to the right here, we have our applications. We can go ahead and edit this and add whatever type of applications we want in here. This is really neat. This is actually a bigger rear display than the Flip 6. So very impressive stuff right here. We have our calendar if we want to go and sync that up. We have our sync weather. We have communications if we would like to make a phone call or if you want to check your contacts or messages. And we also have some other cool games that you guys can play on the outside of this display as well. We'll go ahead and put this into action in a second. On the bottom left side right here, we do have notifications, which is beautiful. So we can go ahead and scroll through those. I'm just going to go ahead and clear all of those, and when we swipe down, of course, we get all of our little tools like screenshot, hotspot, alarm, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really useful outside display right here, and I'm really liking this form factor. I haven't really messed around with a lot of phones that have this sort of form factor, so I'm pleased so far with this. This is definitely something that's not going to be a gimmick. It is going to be something that you can utilize with real world use cases. And the first one, of course, is going to be that selfie camera. If you want to get the best selfies possible, you can just go ahead and take a photo right here. If you want to get the best selfies possible, you can go ahead and use this rear-facing camera instead of using the front-facing camera. Of course, you can still use the front-facing camera, but it's great that we get the best camera on the outside right here to go ahead and utilize that. We have our video mode, we have our mirror mode, we have portrait, we have photo booth. We also have slow motion in here. Looks beautiful. Absolutely love that. And the form factor in general is really nice. This is about 190 grams, 188 grams right here. So it is going to be a tiny bit heavy, but a traditional phone is going to be essentially the same weight. I think it's just super compact in this little type of Game Boy SP form factor that it feels super dense and heavy right now, but it's not going to be crazy heavy for you guys out there. But if you're looking for a form factor like this is really premium. I love the texture on the outside of this. I didn't think I was going to like the Pantone Gibraltar or the blue on this device, but it looks great. It looks excellent. We also have that Motorola emblem right here with the Razr on the bottom right here for anybody that used to have that OG Razr from the early 2000s. Shout out to you guys out there. Beautiful phone so far. Beautiful phone. And all of this for $699 too. It does have a very strong hinge as well, as you guys can see. So if we're going lower and lower, it's going to hold. So really nice looking phone so far. I do want to go ahead and take a look at the camera and see how that looks. I do want to go ahead and take a look at the speakers on this device as well, because it seems like they're going to be nice. And of course, that beautiful display on YouTube. We'll go ahead and check out both of those displays to see how they look as well. That outside display is actually going to be a 90 Hertz refresh rate instead of 120 Hertz. That is also going to be an AMOLED display as well with HDR10 Plus, and this outside display has a peak nit brightness of 1700 nits. This has Gorilla Glass Victus as well and a 413 ppi. So yeah, pretty solid outside display right here. Let's go ahead and take a quick photo though. So as you guys can see, we get some great colors out of this, great saturation, great brightness, and of course, look at that detail on there. You can see the dust on it from sitting on my shelf. But the camera so far looks great. Great rear-facing camera so far. We're going to get into the full review of this later this week, so definitely stay tuned for that. But the camera so far is looking solid. The other thing I have to say about this phone as well is the haptics on this phone are actually really solid. So they feel super solid. They feel essentially the same as my Galaxy S25 Plus. I don't really feel any difference. So you're gonna have great haptics while going around the UI and clicking on applications and, you know, typing out messages and stuff like that. So just thought I should say that real quick. But let's go ahead and take a look at the speakers on this device. Of course, we have stereo speakers on here. Let's see how they sound. All right, everyone, so the speakers actually sound really decent on here. So yeah, bass is good, volume is super loud, these speakers definitely bump. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at a 4K HDR video, and as you guys can see on the YouTube application, we can go up to 2160p by 60 frames per second, and this is going to be capable of HDR as well. So let's go ahead and see how this looks. Awesome. So the HDR looks great on this display. The phone is super bright, has great contrast in colors. So you have some very dynamic range with those colors right there. Yeah, can't really say anything bad about the display on this. It looks great. And of course, we can watch YouTube videos on the external display as well. That is insane. This looks really good, especially on this small display. Wow. So I'm sure a lot of you are going to use this for YouTube. I'm sure a lot of you are also going to use this for TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff like that. So yeah, everything looks great on this device so far. I'm really excited about this device and sinking my teeth into it more. The form factor looks great. The color looks great on here. The photo that I took on here looks pretty dang good. And we're going to get into more stuff on this later on. But yeah, everything so far looks pretty solid, especially for this form factor. $699 is a hefty price. But for this phone, I say it's justified so far. Definitely a justified purchase for $699. I'm even thinking about switching this out for the Galaxy S25 Plus instead of using that device. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This was the unboxing and first impressions of the Motorola Razr 2025 edition. I love this phone so far. This has been Safal from TechRight. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace out, Tech Gang.